G'day mates, how's it going? I'm F1 Luke Sam, and guess what? I'm Veloce's newest addition to the content creator crew. Strap yourselves in because we're about to embark on a thrill ride together. Now you might be wondering, what is this series all about? Well, get ready for something truly epic. I present to you supreme moments in Formula 1. In this series, we're diving headfirst into the heart-pounding, jaw-dropping and downright insane moments that have defined each racetrack on the Formula 1 calendar. Today, we're kicking off our journey with a legendary circuit that's seen more battles than a kangaroo boxing match. That is the Spanish Grand Prix. We're not just talking about your average hold my beer moments here, folks. No. We're talking about those extraordinary, supreme moments that make you leap out of your seat, spill your Vegemite sandwich and yell, did you see that? You see it? Yeah, we saw that, mate. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a time-traveling trip back to 2016, a year so hot it made NASA break a sweat and declare it the hottest year on record. And guess what? That was no different in the Formula 1 Championship too, with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton locked into an epic battle for the Drivers' Championship. Talk about sizzling. Nico had a whopping 43-point lead over Lewis. After 4 races, that's massive. Picture this. Lap 1 of the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. Lewis launches himself out of turn 3 like a rocket, ready to make his move on Nico. But hold your horses, because things took an unexpected turn. In a moment as bold as an Aussie taking a dip in a crocodile-infested creek, Lewis decided to test his off-roading skills. Yep, he went full-on lawnmower mode. With his tyres losing traction, Lewis spun around like a confused boomerang and smacked right into the side of Nico. Ouch. And just like that, both silver arrows banished from the Spanish Grand Prix. It's not just a supreme moment, my friends. It's a certified member of the prestigious Hall of Fame of instant regret moments in Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton, take a bow. The butterfly effect on this moment is truly epic too. Because of this, the 2 quickest machines on the track are now out of the race, meaning one young Max Verstappen in his first race for Red Bull could now go on to win his first Formula 1 race and become the youngest winner of an F1 race at 18 years, 7 months and 15 days. I'd like to ask you, what were you doing at 18? That moment was pretty intense. So let's take a breather and jump back to the year of the infamous slap. No, I'm not talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith's Oscars slap, although that was a doozy. It is the same year, but we're talking about a different kind of slap here, folks. The kind that happens on a Formula 1 track. This battle was so intense, it made the world sit up and take notice. With Charles Leclerc for Ferrari retiring due to issues, this intense battle would eventually see this battle turn into one for the lead. Max Verstappen trying to break records and George Russell fighting like a dog for his first Formula 1 victory. This showdown showcased the new regulations in action, or so we thought. It took an early pit stop and a tactical undercut from Max Verstappen and Red Bull to finally pass George Russell. Talk about high stakes drama. This hair-raising moment had racing fans' necks covered in goosebumps, including mine, making it an instant classic and now a certified supreme moment in Formula 1. Going back a further 36 years after the battle we just saw in 2022. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, I wasn't even born then. Well, my friend, join the club because I was a whopping negative 15 years old back then. But fear not, we're about to relive a moment that still sends shivers down our spines. The year is 1986 and we're at the Spanish Grand Prix, but hold your horses. This race wasn't actually held at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya as we know it today. We're taking a detour to Circuit de Jerez. Why? Because this track holds a record that we crave to see broken in every single race we watch. We're witnessing a fierce battle between 2 rivals, Ayrton Senna and Nigel Mansell. It was twisty, turny and a bit of a dance around the Spanish racetrack as Mansell fought tooth and nail to pass Senna. And guess what? He did. But Senna wasn't one to take a backseat for long. He launched a counter-attack with that move not only pushing Mansell back, but also allowed Alan Prost to sneak past in his McLaren. Mansell had no choice but to pit for fresh rubber. But here's where the real magic happens. With new tyres, Mansell was on a mission. He was like a bull seeing red. He charged ahead, closing the gap to Senna. On the last lap, the Brazilian, desperate to hold on, tried to block Mansell and stay in front on his worn tyres. It was a nail-biter. And then, in a heartbeat, it happened. Coming out of the final corner, Mansell got a tow and pulled alongside alongside Senna. It was a battle of wills, a fight for the ages, a gap so close they're practically alongside each other. In the end, Senna hung on by a mere 0.014 seconds. That's faster than a human eye can blink. This finish made it the third closest finish in Formula 1 history, and it still stands today. But it now also holds the honour of being a certified supreme moment in Formula 1. Now let's bring us back closer to today's date, but not too close. In fact, 5 days after the 2001 Spanish Grand Prix, held back at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, I was born. So close. The tension is rising, the race is coming to a close, and Mika Häkkinen is dominating the track with a lead of over 40 seconds. It's looking like an easy win, right? Well, sit back, because the Formula 1 gods had other plans. Just as Häkkinen started the final lap, his engine decides to play a cruel prank on him and fails without warning. Talk about a gut punch. Poor Häkkinen is left coasting around the circuit, feeling the weight of disappointment crushing his racing dreams, until he finally pulls over at turn 7. And who's there to take advantage of this twist of fate? None other than Michael Schumacher, who gets promoted to the lead and snatches his third victory of the season. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade, right? Or should I say turning engine failures into sweet, sweet victory. But here's the silver lining, folks. Despite not finishing the race, Häkkinen still showed tremendous sportsmanship. He put on a brave face and graciously congratulated Schumacher on his well-deserved victory. That's what true sportsmanship looks like, folks, even in the face of heartbreak. It may not have been the ending Häkkinen hoped for, but it's the moment that will be forever etched in the history of Formula 1, and it is now certified as a supreme moment in Formula 1. And now, my fellow Formula 1 fanatics, we have arrived at the grand finale of our journey through the supreme moments in Formula 1 at the Spanish Grand Prix. Thank you for sticking around to this very last moment in this video, because this moment is an absolute doozy. Now, when we talk about unreliable, crash-prone drivers, our mind immediately drifts to Nicholas Latifi, but before Latifi, there was another Latifi, a man who saw the pit exit at Monaco as his personal racetrack, a man who has a crash compilation video longer than your average sitcom episode. I present to you the one, the only, Venezuelan sensation, Pastor Maldonado. I'm sure you all remember the famous quote, "If you no longer go for a gap that doesn't exist, you are not Pastor Maldonado." Now, Pastor's Formula 1 career was, let's say, colourful and short-lived. He had a knack for unpredictable driving, to put it lightly. But on that sunny Sunday, destiny smiled upon him. Starting from pole position thanks to Lewis Hamilton's grid demotion, Maldonado was determined to make a statement. After being overtaken by Fernando Alonso on the first lap, Pastor pulled off a masterful undercut strategy and reclaimed the lead after the second round of pit stops. Sure, he had a slow stop due to a tyre fitting fault in the third round, but that didn't deter him. He powered through and overtook Kimi Räikkönen, securing his spot at the front of the pack on lap 47 of 66, crossing the line with a 3.1 second lead over Alonso, who was a further second ahead of Räikkönen. It was a true head scratcher. How did he do it? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. So there you have it, the improbable tale of Pastor Maldonado's triumph at the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix. Despite all odds and all expectations, he not only kept himself out of the barriers, but also claimed his rightful place among the supreme moments in Formula 1. Bravo, Pastor. Bravo. And there you have it. We've reached the end of our thrilling journey through the supreme moments in Formula 1 at the Spanish Grand Prix. I hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as I have. From the heartbreak of Häkkinen's engine failure to the miraculous triumph of Maldonado, we've covered it all. Moments that left us on the edge of our seats, scratching our heads and questioning the laws of physics. These wild moments really do make Formula 1 what it is today. But before we part ways, I want to give a massive shout out to Veloce for hosting me on their amazing channel. It's an honor to be their newest content creator, and I can't wait to bring you more epic moments in the future. Now, if you want to stay connected with me and dive deeper into the world of Formula 1, make sure to check the links in the description below. You'll find my personal links, including my social media handles and more exciting content. I've been F1 Luke Sam, your guide through the supreme moments of Formula 1, and you guys have been amazing. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Stay safe.